Do you have others living in your home with you? Maybe it's a spouse, it's your kids, or maybe even a roommate. But when you start putting your routines in place, it can sometimes be tough to get them on board. So, we're going to talk about 4 ways that you can help them see the benefits and support your routines rather than fighting a battle against them.
Are you ready to stop the chaos, the stress, the overwhelm that's filling your life? I'm Renee Matt, and together you and I are going to build simple routines that are going to change your life. When you put these habits into practice, you're going to be able to organize your life in a way where you can be there for your family, pay off your debt, save money, your house can stay organized, you don't have to stress about what's for dinner, and you still get time for yourself. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome to the Routine Advantage Podcast.
Every family dynamic is very different, or every household dynamic is very different. So you might be putting routines in place and everybody's on board and supporting you through it. And that is amazing. And if that's not the case for you and you have some pushback from people that are in your household, then you might just need to approach it a little bit differently. And that's what we're talking about today is I have 4 ways to help you approach this with your spouse or your kids or your roommates or whoever is living with you so that they can get on board with your routines. So, the first and foremost thing you need to do is communicate with them and let them know your goals and why. You might think that it's very obvious that you are feeling overwhelmed and you're stressed about every little thing and you don't feel like you have time to have any fun with anybody. Like, depending on how you're feeling, if you're internalizing all of that, they might not realize exactly how you're feeling. So when you start throwing all these routines at them and all these changes and everything like that, they're probably going to push back because they don't understand why anything needs to change. They're happy with how it is right now, not realizing that it's all stressing you out. So if you communicate that and let them know your goals and why you are doing this, let them know that you're feeling overwhelmed, that you're feeling like everything's on your shoulders. And this is a way that you feel like you can get things organized in a way that is simple, but opens up more space to enjoy more time with them. And simply taking the time to actually communicate this might be all that's needed for you. The second way to get them on board is to actually show follow through. If you have a tendency to kind of change things or throw plans out or throw different routines out often, it can cause some hesitance from your housemates, thinking that this isn't actually going to change things. You're changing things often, and they might just blow by it and think like this is just a phase. So if you can show them the follow through and you keep up with your routines to actually show them the benefits, it might take a while for them to see the benefits and to notice the benefits, but by you keeping up with those and maintaining especially those 5 foundational routines that we talk about here on podcast, which is your morning routine, your meal planning routine, your daily 7 home routine, your movement routine, and your budget routine, they are going to start to see over time the difference that this makes. It might be that the house is staying tidier. It might be that there is no stress around meal times and you have home cooked meals on the table because they're simple and they're easy and they're pretty much like they almost do it themselves because it's so easy to maintain this meal planning process. Your mood is probably going to improve because you're not feeling so stressed. You're going to have more time for fun. They're going to see these benefits over time. And when you can continue to communicate that and show follow through, they're going to get on board much better than if you are just trying to change things and not following through and it's just causing more chaos and drama in the house. Number 3 is to actually ask for their feedback. You want to have them feel included. Ask what they think is working, what's not working, why they feel that way, what they might consider or suggest doing instead, and consider their feedback and consider those options to pull into your routines or to get out of your routines. You might have originally thought that something was a high priority in your household, but then your family is pushing back and they're like, this does not actually need to be done, but it's causing you stress, then actually consider, is it something that really does need to be done and you want to keep it? Then communicate that to them and let them know why you feel like you should keep it, and just test out keeping it and see how everybody feels, or test out removing it and see how you feel. And by taking their feedback and actually putting it into place and letting them see that you are taking their feedback into consideration and they're building this process with you, it helps them to get more on board. When I first started doing these routines, my husband thought that I was kind of crazy for especially the daily 7, because we had been in such a cycle of just letting things build up all week long, and then we would spend the weekend cleaning and catching up on laundry. And when I started the daily 7 home routine, I started doing those 7 tasks, and I got really particular about trying to figure out the best order. And then when I found it, I wanted to stick to it, and I wanted to make sure that when I started my daily 7 home routine, I did the process in order, because I was the most efficient, and it went so smoothly, and it just completely improved my mood. But he didn't know that right away. I had to communicate that to him, and he didn't understand why it was necessary for me to do it in the same order, because his brain does not work like mine. But I was able to show him and tell him all of the benefits of how much better I felt when I was going through that, and when I was able to actually get through it quickly, and I was able to do all of those tasks throughout the week. He started to see that not only was I telling him that it made me feel better, but he could see that I felt better, and our house stayed tidy throughout the week. And he noticed that we started to have more time available over the weekends, because we didn't need to stop everything and clean our house and do a deep clean and catch up on laundry, because all of a sudden I had been doing laundry throughout the week because I would focus on getting a load done every day, and we didn't have laundry to catch up on the weekends. So instead of him having to start kind of tackling that chore with me, he would look at it and be like, "We have no laundry to do." And he very rarely has to do laundry now, when before he would kind of run out of clothes and he would have to go do laundry because he was kind of running out of things how many years ago. But now he very, very rarely has to do laundry, and I have actually come to really enjoy laundry, but he didn't see that benefit right away until I explained it to him, and then I had to show him how it was actually benefiting, and then he could see it. And now, when I say I have to do my daily 7, he just gets out of my way, because he knows how much better I feel and how much better the house stays when I'm actually being consistent about doing it. And he supports me in that, when before he was kinda teasing me about it, because he was like, "You are so strange, like, why do you need to do it in this specific order?" And it's like, I have to do it that way because that's how my brain works, but now he sees that. So that was a long explanation, but this is what I'm talking about, is when you can show them, communicate to them, and show them the follow through, and get their feedback, then you can create a system in your house that everybody is involved, and they do end up starting to feel like they're part of this routine. Another example of this is during our meal planning routine. Each evening, I look ahead at the plan on our meal planning calendar. I look ahead to see what is going on, if we need to pull anything out of the freezer so that it has time to thaw in the refrigerator and things like that. And in the beginning, he didn't look at the meal planning calendar. Like, that was my thing. He just did what I needed him to do, but he didn't look at it and actively do anything with it. But I also made a habit of going and checking the freezer each night. Well, he started to see that I was doing that. I would talk about the meal planning calendar, and he would know that it was there, but he didn't actually do anything with it in the beginning. Now, when he wants to look ahead at what we're planning or what is going on, he now opens the cupboard, because we have it inside the cup or inside the cabinet in the kitchen. So it kinda stays hidden and not cluttering up the walls, but he opens the cabinet and he will look at what we're having, and now he will actually just go and grab stuff from the freezer, because he knows that's part of my routine. And so it's just really helpful that when they can actually see the benefits, you communicate to them what you're doing, and then they start to see the benefits, they want to help. And a huge piece of that is because they feel like they're involved, because you're communicating how much better you feel, you're showing showing them that it's actually working and you are feeling better, and you're asking for their feedback so they feel more involved. And eventually it just becomes this working system that you're doing it together, but it's all working in sync with each other and you guys get on the same page. It becomes more of that teamwork aspect where you're doing it together and everybody likes being on a team. Like you want to feel included, you want to feel like you're part of the system as long as it's functioning well. If it's not functioning well, then everybody kind of separates and silos themselves and doesn't want a part of it. But if it's functioning well, you want to be part of it. And sometimes it does take some time for everybody to get on the same page, but going through each of these tips is going to help you get to that point. And lastly, is number 4 is to not make it all about work and routines. If your goal when you are communicating to them that the benefits of these routines is going to give more time to have fun and spend time together and enjoy those things, make sure you're actually following through and enjoying it. If your goal is to keep up with your routines all week so that you can have fun on the weekends, don't all of a sudden put a project on them on Saturday morning so that their Saturday is full of work anyway. Do something fun and show them that the routines that you are doing throughout the week are going to be beneficial because now you can actually enjoy your weekends. Or if you are saying that you are going to be in a better mood because routines are being kept up with and they're helping with those routines, but your mood is still kind of poor, then I know it's hard if you're feeling stressed, but if they're actually taking the time, just take a deep breath and show them that it is making a difference. Because if they can see that it's actually making a difference, then they're going to be more likely to continue participating. And when you can start to have fun together and you start to feel like it's a team effort and everybody's involved and it's actually benefiting the whole household, it really does make a difference. And over time, you will just start to feel that flow, and pretty soon you're going to find that you don't really remember what it was like without all of these routines in place because your life just flows so seamlessly. And that is when you know your routines are working really well for you, is because it just feels like normal life and it doesn't feel so hard and difficult to maintain. And that is something that does take a little time. You need to repeat the process over and over, but over time it will start to flow that way. So, a quick recap of those 4 ways to help get your spouse, your kids, your roommates, or whoever is in your household on board with your routines is number 1, communicate and let them know your goals and why you want to have these goals in place or you want these routines in place. Number 2 is to show follow through. Keep up with your routines and actually let them see the benefits. Number 3 is to ask for their feedback, what's working well, what's not, and why, and actually take their feedback into consideration and make some changes that they can see based on their feedback. And number 4, don't make it all about work and routines, but actually make sure you are blocking out time that you are creating space for and you're actually having fun with them and they can see those benefits as well. So, weekends, especially, they should be for fun, not just cleaning and catching up on laundry. So that's what we need to do, is we need to actually work together to build a system that works so that we can all work together as a team and enjoy, and these routines can be beneficial and not stressful. So I hope that that was helpful for you, and I will catch you back here on the next episode.
Did you love that episode or learn something useful? If so, would you do me a huge favor? My goal is to grow this podcast and help as many women as I can break free from the overwhelm so they can truly enjoy their life. The best way for me to do this is for you to leave a 5-star written review on your podcast app and to share this episode with a friend or in your Instagram stories. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next episode. Take care.